So I'm standing here beside the Green Stalk. Today I'm going to do a short video on how I water and feed nutrients to the Green Stalk. It's not the way that Green Stalk recommends. They tell you don't do it this way, but I'll explain to you why I do it and why I think Green Stalk chooses a different route. But looks like it's doing okay to me. The first thing I want to discuss is you water it from the top. So Green Stalk says put your hose in here, continue watering until you see water come out of the bottom. It has these gray discs on every level, and when that gray disc fills up, then it fills up the next, and it fills up the next. If you do it the way Green Stalk says, I feel there's a lot of water that's just going to pour through. I live in San Francisco. We are like under water restrictions. I mean, my neighbor could probably call just because I'm watering the plants. But what's the difference if I grow my food or if somebody in Central Valley grows the food? So, whatever, that's argument aside. We are under water restrictions. So I feel if you fill it up until it's pouring out the bottom, it's too much water and you lost a lot. So there's a hole in the middle, and I got this little black plug out of a pot. Now, here we got this off, I think, Wayfair for our registry for getting married, and there's a little plug in here. So I like my pots to drain. We don't want a plug there. We want it to be able to drain. We want it to be able to drain freely. So there are two here, two of these little plugs. Okay, I've been using this one, the black one, but today when I was messing around with this one, it's a little bit bigger. So when I stuff it in there, it clogs the hole better. Like I actually have to jam it in the hole. This one would just, it's a little smaller than the hole, and when the hose was in there, it could blow out. So I plug the thing. I fill it up to a certain mark, and then I pull the plug out. And I've worked with it enough to know, like the first couple times I overdid it and I knew where water was coming out. So there's 3 lines on here. Basically, I need to go a little bit above the top line. I mean, it's gonna be almost to the brim. So I use the plug, I fill it up as quickly as possible, and then I pull the plug out. And I have it calculated, so I still have water loss, but it's not like the recommended way. I'm not saying their way is wrong. I also think that they're dealing with a lot of people that have never grown anything in their life, and their instructions, that's the idiot-proof way to do it. If you just do it, if you just water it until it pours out the bottom, you've goal accomplished. So, but I'm trying to do better than that. I do whatever runoff I have here goes under the deck, and I have plants down there that use any of the water that I've used to feed the plants up here runs off, and we reuse it downstairs. But still. So I don't want to have a bunch of water waste. So I plug the hole, I fill it up, I take the plug out. You want to have the whirlpool, I take my finger. You don't have to do it, I'll show you. So that's about watering. Green Stalk also says whenever you feed the plants, don't feed up here, that you feed individual pockets. Well, I'm using, if you see my weed videos, this is what I use to grow weed, but it also, they tout it as tomatoes and fruits. It works. It works good. It's 644. It's a general kind of nitrogen heavy food nutrient, so I just put it up top. I mean, it's going to trickle down. Everybody gets their own disc. It's working great. I could see if some of them are flowering and you want to use the flowering nutes, or you want to put something else in, you might have a problem. But just for general nitrogen type general feeding, this thing loves it. It's working great. So I am going to mix up 2 gallons of nutes, and then I'm going to hand pour them in just to show you what I did before. I kind of have it figured out. Normally I just put the hose up here and dump it in, but for the video, I'm going to go ahead and mix up 2 gallons. I got 2 1-gallon buckets here. I got that one, and then I got this blue one here. So I'm going to mix up 2 gallons of nutes and then pour them in the top. Here's the top of the Green Stalk. Coming up inside to the top. So there's the hole. I was using this plug, and you see it kind of wiggles around and it just goes in and out. It's a little bit smaller than the hole. So then today I found this plug. When I put it in, I gotta kind of push it. So that's gonna hold water out better. Now there are these little drip holes, so water's still gonna go through there. And there's the lines I was talking about. So normally I try and fill it up just past the third line, you know, or a little bit more. When it was new and there weren't a lot of roots in it, I could get away with just 2 lines. But then over the time I realized, you know, they're drinking more water and there's more roots in there. So I wanna make sure and keep that middle saturated. So here's my finished newts and we're gonna pour it in. Fuck, just can't leave this plastic out here in the sun. I've already trashed 2 of these things. So there's 1 gallon. So yeah, it's just about there on the line. It could be a little bit more, so I'm doing 2 gallons. So I know that it's exactly 2 gallons. I'm gonna pull this plug and I wanna give it a little swirl. There it is. I like the little whirlpool there. I'll explain to you later in another video. But I like to see that. I know it's working better. Okay, so you see that tray, you can hear it. Water's siphoning through that tray and you see drips coming down. So you know that level is watered properly. Let's come over here and see if we can find one down here. Even on this level. We're way at the bottom, you see that dripping? I can barely hear a little water trickle inside. Here at the beads, and you can just see it starting right now. See that water trickling? So this one, I knew it was a little bit short when I started. It took a minute for the bottom one to start dripping, but really, in reality, all of the water from all these levels drip down through those 2 holes. So even if the gray tray didn't get filled up properly, I'm comfortable with that, and that's how I water and feed my green stalk. So I sat down here for a smoke break, and I noticed so that bottom level has water, you know, coming in. The next level up, water there. The next level up, water there. Next level up. I can't see it because of the sun. I'm thinking you guys can see that. I'll check it in a minute. Yeah, there it's dripping. So all levels have water coming through there. Maybe on the bottom, the gray tray, as I said, didn't get totally filled. Right there's the hole that the water comes out of, all the excess water. So when it's all said and done, water will start coming out of there pretty rapidly. So I'm not sure that the bottom one got totally full, but as you can see, the bottom layer is getting watered, and we're just gonna go with that. It rained so we had a huge storm here, so it rained for 3 or 4 days straight, so it's not hurting for water. This was more of a feeding exercise, and I wanted to make a video.